Well, let's first talk about what you guys really do. How did you get involved in this, and what kind of impact you guys making?
Well, we're working on a lot of technology. Basically, less government exists to reduce the size, scope, and sphere of influence of government. We started about 18 months ago. I've had the idea for a while, but we started it middle of last year, and, well, I guess not last year anymore, 2010, let's be clear. I know we've rolled over. And basically, we started out working on a lot of tech issues, and basically because I think the future of censorship, the future of the free market, both, all exist online. I mean, the Internet is 1/6 of the national economy now. You've got governments around the world blocking people's access to content. So when net neutrality was a big issue in the middle of last year, I jumped on that because I thought, okay, this is where censorship is going. I'd worked previously on fairness doctrine issues, and I thought the future of censorship was net neutrality. So we worked on that. I think we were very successful at really raising the profile of that issue. And when I got started in the middle of 2010, there wasn't a lot of national prominence on that issue, and I think we were very successful at driving that train and dramatically raising the profile of that issue. Now we're working on, I got a piece now coming out. The UN in December is going to vote it looks like they're going to vote to dramatically increase the role of the United Nations in the global regulation of the Internet, which of course will be a big problem. Mm-hmm. So look, the Internet's 1/6 of our economy. It's the only part of the economy that's still actually growing. It's a big deal. So we got involved in that, but we're doing all sorts of things. I mean, less government was involved. Was one of the first organizations on board the Cut, Cap, and Balance Coalition, which of course was the only plan that would actually reduce the deficit. It was the only plan that was going to prevent us from getting the credit downgrade that we received. Sure. But we work on a bunch of issues. I mean, we work with one of the things we do is build coalitions with other organizations, Americans for Tax Reform, Americans for Prosperity, to work on a whole host of issues to reduce the size of government.
This is 2012 now. This is now officially an election year. We turn our eyes toward Iowa tomorrow, and then later in the month we look at other primaries. When you take a look at the Republican field, are you pretty confident that there are folks in that field that will indeed reduce the size and scope of government?
Yes, but unfortunately I think the one that's going to win it, I'm not too confident about. Mitt Romney is looking like he's going to get it. He's running the last man standing campaign, and it looks like the establishment, the GOP establishment, has kind of changed the rules in a way that will benefit him. I don't know if this was intentional or what, but if you recall last year, the Democrats had a proportional rather than a winner-take-all primary process.
That's right. Yeah.
So Obama kept winning the states, but he'd win 55 to 45 against Hillary Clinton, and Hillary got 45% of the delegates.
Yes.
So she could hang around and hang around and hang around and hang around. And for reasons that surpass understanding, unless I think they want to help Romney, the Republicans have changed a lot of their states from winner-take-all to proportional.
Yeah.
So as far as there's a lot of candidates that I think would genuinely work with Tea Party members of Congress and less government folks of all types to reduce the government. I think Rick Perry would. I think Ron Paul would. I have problems with Ron Paul on other issues, but I think Michelle Bachmann genuinely would. I think Rick Santorum genuinely would. I think Newt Gingrich probably would in some ways. He's kind of a mishmash on issues like Romney is, but in a different way. But so yeah, I think they're genuine. I think what people are disappointed with and why they're frustrated with the primary process. I said back in 1995 when Newt led the Republican Revolution. I said we didn't get rid of our inspector; we made him chairman.
Oh wow, yeah.
And I think that's what we're seeing now is we elected a lot of really good people, in 2010. A lot of Tea Party, less government, legitimate conservatives. Problem is, they're just not ready to run for president in 2012, 2 years later.
Yeah, I relate it to a farm team in baseball. Your major league team may not be that good right now, but you got a lot of good folks at the farm level who just aren't ready to play yet. And to me, I agree. I think that's
fortunately, we don't have an owner that's going to trade them for future, for old veterans.
That's true
too. So I think down the road we'll be fine. I just think it's so important that we defeat Barack Obama this year, and that's a genuine, legitimate concern. That's adding to the frustration of we've elected all these great people. They're just not ready to step in there right now and take on and defeat Barack Obama.
Yeah. Finally, this morning, how can folks see more of your work and get involved with Less Government?
Please go to lessgovernment.org. For the technology stuff, I work with a group called the Center for Digital Freedom. Go to stopnetregulation.org. But if you just search Seton Motley, I write for biggovernment.com and Washington Times and Washington Examiner. I'm all over the web, and I have a weird name, so when you search my name, it pops up.
Great stuff, Seton Motley. Sir, I appreciate all that you do, and thanks for joining us this morning.
My pleasure. Happy New Year to you and everybody.
You too, sir. Thank you very much.